here to prank you guys back with an updated profile for the ban list format now, I guess, until, I think, March.
Yeah.
Still running 3 of every kid. People still don't know what this deck does, even though it's kind of getting back in popularity.
Very linear.
Burn your opponent for 500 special. Foolish Burial any prank kid's card special. Gain 1,000 life points special. Banish a card from your hand, draw a card. If Colossus was still here, I'd be playing a Thunder version of this deck.
If you like screwing your opponent over and time the round, huh?
I do. This deck does win in time. A lot, actually. A lot more than yeah. One of the win conditions is time.
Sad.
Make very normal summoner reliant. I'm also playing the poly build still, but triple Exceed to make sure that your normal summon will go off. You just chain block it.
Makes sense.
You can run any rank 4 you want. You'll see what rank 4 I still play. I mean, it's just the one I like because Eldritch and other things. Hand traps. I actually am playing less hand traps.
Oh, okay.
Playing Ash and Bell, and that's it for the hand traps.
Oh, why the Bell? That's actually an interesting one instead of Ogre.
So, Strikers coming back up again. This also hits... This is actually really good against Prank Kids as well. It hits a lot of decks that you wouldn't think of. I'm pretty sure this hits Drytron. I also have Ogre I have a Droll on the side that also hits that deck. Just a lot of decks that just want to add things back from the grave. This just stops it. And then Ash is generic. Ash does what Ash wants.
Yeah, deck versus then the other one's graveyard.
Yeah, deck and then the grave. So you have hit every place. Speaking of place, I play 2 Prank Kids place, 2 Pranks, 2 Fusion. Those are it for the Prank Kids spells. I cut this down from 3 because I didn't like drawing 3 of them in my hand. So, and you only need 1. You can always search it. You can always send it and add it back. A lot of people like to droll right after this, after you search with this. It does not matter. This deck does not care about droll as much as it does Ash on the normal summon. I play 2. Someone was asking me why I play 2. I can show a combo if Horizon wants to on why I play 2. 2 Fusion. You can search it. You can do whatever. I have seen a build that bumped this up to 3 because of Book of Moon. I don't really see why because you can still fusion with sets. That transitions into Poly. Fusion summoning. I still play the Poly build. Toad before your 5th summon is always nice. Still play 2 Mystic Mine. Yeah, I don't like it either. This card should be banned. But the combo where you just loop your opponent until they're dead, you can't pass that up.
Oh, is it it's like you summon Rocket Ride, have Mystic Mine, you just keep making Rocket Ride each turn?
Yep. That's why I also play 2 Pranks to make sure I get that card. Instead of the 9 hand traps, I actually play Forbidden Droplet now.
Okay.
So every deck pretty much likes to make VFD now. This just says no.
Makes sense.
It's really good. If they're attacking and they're like pretty much exact game on board, you can still droplet and make their attacks half. Comes up in a lot of different situations, especially against a virtual world. I guess I'll put this back. If for some unawful reason your Prank Kid's deck hates you and you end up drawing the Prank Kid trap, you just send this so they after they activate VFD so they can't use the trap to pop it.
I'm about to do a reread on a virtual because I have no idea what they do.
This is supposed to be 2 triple Ts. Still waiting on one to come in the mail. I got one. It was fake. Contacting where I bought it and everything to get that fixed. But yeah, this would be 2 triple T. People like to hand trap this deck. You just say free stuff. Or you can peek at their hand, see if they got anything else, or hit a combo piece out of their hand.
Well, it makes sense to typically want to use the monsters.
Yep, and then just 2 1-ofs Terraforming to get either mine or your place. Instant Fusion as a general extender. God card in this deck.
It's good. It's good for Rocket Ride.
It's really good for Rocket Ride. So that's it for the main deck. I guess the extra deck. I have seen a build play 2 of these. I still think you only need... Or I've seen a build play 3. I still only think you need 2. You can always put it back in with Pranks or your plan if you need to. But if you need more than 2, then you're probably already losing.
You're only playing 1 plan, so that kind of makes sense.
2 Doodle. Everyone knows what Doodle does. Just on summon, search a spell or trap, really good. And then tribute himself, add back 2 cards. Super good.
Tributing for cost, right?
Everything tributes for cost in this deck.
So that's really good with Meow Meow.
Oh yeah. Bow Wow Bark. Same thing as Doodle, except on my opponent's turn, and then for the rest of the turn, my Prank Kids monsters can be destroyed by card effect. Comes out a lot because I did this in their standby. They asked what it did, I told them, and then they proceeded to still Raigeki me when I had only Prank Kids, and I just looked at them. One Ripper, one Roaster. Eldritch is still a thing. There's a bunch of back row decks, so if you go first, you can make this and then clear it out.
Typically, the Triple Tree is like, the Triple T is really good. Look at your opponent's hand to see what kind of cards they have. So you either make Battle Butler or Ripperling Roaster if you don't have the extenders.
Exactly. 2 Rocket Ride. I recommend playing 2. If 1, it's good as an extender, or if it gets striked, and you still want to make 1 in the turn because its fusion summon isn't once per turn, then it's perfect. Also, if you have instant fusion of Prank Kid and they ash your Prank Kid, then you just Rocket Ride go into the Link 2 and then keep going. I only play 1 Weather Washer. I barely make him. He barely comes up.
He's very situational.
Yeah, he's here. Honestly, you could cut him for whatever you want. I still play him because there is some niche instances where he can come up, but...
Especially OTK decks.
Yeah. I play 2. I don't play the Thunder Dragon build, or Thunder Fusion build, but I still play 2, just in case. Because all the Prank Kids say they can't special summon themselves, but you can use each of them to summon the other counterpart if you have 2 poly set. So you can just, if they out the first one with like a Kaiju or whatever, you just go, cool, make another one.
Yeah.
But then you risk being Nibiru'd on their turn. Play access code for game. I no longer play Unicorn, I play Ning. Still play this card. Super good. You just send any face-up card that you control. You can send your spells, anything, and send a card. This outs Dragoon. This outs a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, isn't that your out at Dragoon?
It's out to a lot of things. For my Xyz, this is what I use Parallel Exceed for, just because Eldritch against this, they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it hurts a lot.
And then Toad, so you can't get Nibiru'd.
Makes sense. Other rank 4s you could play is like
Baduska. You can play literally any rank 4 you want. You can play the Trap Tricks if you want to go for another way to stop being Nibiru'd, but that just adds a brick to the deck in my opinion, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I guess the side hasn't really changed. My back row hate, triple, twin, and a Harpies. I'm pretty sure that's it for the spells. Yep, everything else is a monster. So I just back row hate in case you can't make Rip Roar and Roaster. This deck can make both Roaster and Battle Butler with the correct hand, and if you play it correctly, but it's all up to what you have.
Typically it's like, what, 2 monsters and a poly?
2 monsters, 3 Prank Kids monsters, and poly. So you can have a normal summon.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's typically the go-to hand if you want to make both of them.
Yeah. Triple Droll, hits Drytron, hits Invoked, hits Dogmatica, hits pretty much everything.
Yeah, he goes in and out of the format, so right now it's good.
Yeah, it's alright. 2 Lancia, again, hits Eldritch, also hits Dino.
Actually, it hits down really hard.
Hits it down pretty hard, so just, it's good. I still play 3 Nib. I'm working on getting my last ulti. Nib, it depends. Right now we're going into more mid-range, but Drytron is still a combo deck. There's still Rocket Dragon Link. I mean, is the deck still playable? There's still Infernoble if people are playing that. Like, there's a lot of combo decks that people don't see, especially, and Prank Kids is one of them. This does hurt Prank Kids if, depending on the build they're playing.
If I had a hand trap variant, Nibiru them.
Yeah.
Poly build, you kind of pick where you want to shoot.
Yeah. Gamma Seal, another out to Dragoon, also adds just any annoying monster. You can always pop it, and I've had an instance where I opened 2 of these in my opening hand with a Prank Kid, and I just Kaiju'd him, summoned my own, crashed them, and then full comboed. And that's it for the profile. Do you want to do a combo thing?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Alright. So I'll just show how to play around
there was the
Ash.
Yeah, there was the Ash, and then there's also the Mine Loop you were talking about.
Yeah, so I'll put mine, I guess the poly. Let's see. So you can really do the mine. This is the mine loop. You can really do it with any 2 Prank Kids. These are just the best because it widens the gap in life points further. So you just go poly, or you have mine. Assuming you have no monster because you can just tribute yours for cost. So you poly, make these. You go into...
This is assuming that your opponent has a monster on the field.
Yeah, at least one. All they need is one. You make Rocket Ride, and then you chain link 1, 2, 3. You can do Prank Kids in any order, but make sure Rocket Ride is chain link 3. So he can just lose his. You burn them and you gain the life. Do not special because it is optional. And then you just swing at your opponent because it can attack directly now. Main phase 2, you tribute it. Bring back these 2. Then you just link these off into Doodle. Then you just go Doodle effect. Depending what your hand is, if you have another Prank Kid or you have a Poly in your hand, you can add back either or, but make sure you always add back, or you always have at least a Prank Kid or two Prank Kids in your hand with a Poly, and you just keep looping it. If you have the spell, the Pranks...
Yeah, Prank it, Prank.
Yeah, if you have Pranks, then...
You can shuffle back.
Yeah, and then you can just shuffle back and hopefully draw another Prank Kid. That's the mind loop. You just keep doing that until your opponent either quits or you kill them. Whatever happens first.
Yep, and then the Avoiding Ash.
Avoiding Ash, yes. So, a lot of people just think it's a normal summon hit deck. Like, here, these will be my 5 cards. These will be my 5 cards. So everyone's like...
Still really good.
Yeah. Here. You can pick out my hand. You can pick out whatever you want.
Nah.
I'll give you a free choice.
Nah.
No?
I'll just grab an Ash Blossom so I can just demonstrate. We can demonstrate.
Alright, that's fair. So, a lot of people just go normal summon. This hand would lose to an Ash, because you don't really... actually, we'll just do this. And we'll just say these are... Let's try to get something that's not an extender, alright? This deck's just full of them. All the Prank Kids, Polys, alright. 2 droplets. There we go. So, you go normal summon, and then they dash, right there.
Yep.
You have to end your turn. You can't do anything. But if you want, you can do Pranks. Pranks, discard 1, summon a token. I'll just use this Field Center. And now you go normal summon. And do not make the link 1 here, you make the link 2 Doodle. You make Doodle here. And you chain block your one that you can activate with Doodle. So Doodle can search, doesn't matter if it does or not, but you can get your special summon. And then the other effect. So like Phil's Roxy's, banish, draw another card, maybe it'll be an extender, probably will be, this deck's full of them. Or an interruption on your opponent's turn. And then after you get that link, you can, depending what else you have, for instance I'm just saying 2 brick cards, then you go into Meow Meow. Now you don't really care, because now you have 3 Prank Kids engraved. Yeah, so you can do this in your end phase.
Yeah, +1, and then you have set up for the... I guess you can get the Poly if you had the if you searched.
Yeah, like if they would probably ash this since I can't ash this, which is fine. Usually you'll open up a Poly because you play a bunch of them, and you also can draw cards. I'm just using this as an example, but you can still play through Poly, and you will still have follow up on your turn. So it's just a lot of interesting like little interactions with the deck.
A lot of ways to get around things. Yes. Overall, that's the profile. Hope you guys have a great day.